Cooperation among processes by sharing covers processes that interact with other processes without being explicitly aware of them. Multiple processes may have access to shared variables, files, or databases. Processes may use and update shared data, hence, processes must cooperate to manage the shared data. Since the data is shared among multiple processes, data inconsistency problem may arise. For example, if process 1 and 2 are sharing a variable a, if process 1 updates the value of a and process 2 is still using the old value of a, then the data inconsistency will exist. Data can be read or write by the process. Data inconsistency may occur only during writing mode. As the data is stored in the resources like device or memory, control problems of mutex, deadlock, and starvation are present. Mutual exclusion is used only in writing mode. Okay, why mutex is used only in writing mode? Suppose multiple processes wants to write into one shared variable, then is it possible? Practically it's not possible, but reading multiple read is possible, multiple writing is not possible. So whenever there is a writing condition or writing mode, that time mutex has to be implemented. Data coherence may exist in cooperation among processes by sharing. I will explain data coherence taking one example. Suppose A and B are two variables having relationship A equal to B. To maintain this relationship, any program which updates the value of A should update the value of B. Now let's take two processes P1 and P2. P1 has two assignments, A equal to A plus 1 and B equal to B plus 1, and P2 has two assignments, B equal to 2 into B and A equal to 2 into A. If we execute P1 and P2 in a sequence, then data will be consistent and the relationship A equal to B will be maintained. But if we execute P1 and P2 in parallel, data will not be consistent. If the first assignment of P1 is executed first we'll execute this, followed by the first assignment of P2, that is B equal to 2 into B, and then B equal to B plus 1 of P1, followed by A equal to 2 into A of P2. Then A will be equal to 4 and B will be equal to 3. Okay. Then the data will not be consistent and the relationship A equal to B will not be maintained. So solution to this is use of mutual exclusion. Okay, we can declare entire sequence in each process in a critical section. Now we will see cooperation among processes by communication. We have seen in case of computation, processes are sharing resources without being aware of the other processes. And in case of cooperation among processes by sharing, they are sharing values, and although they are not explicitly aware about other processes, but they are aware about the need of data integrity. In cooperation among processes by communication, processes communicate through message passing. They are not sharing anything that time. Hence, no need of mutual exclusion, but the problem of deadlock and starvation will be present. Two processes may be blocked, each waiting for communication from other. We will see one example of starvation. P1 is repeatedly trying to communicate with either P2 or P3, and P2, P3 are both trying to communicate with P1. It may happen that P1 and P2 exchange information repeatedly with each other while P3 is blocked waiting for communication from P1. So there is no deadlock as P1 is in active state but P3 is start. Now we know what mutual exclusion or mutex is. Only one process or a program is allowed to be in a control section, means the control of the shared resource like a printer is given to only one process at a particular time. There are different ways to implement mutual exclusion, but each should meet the following requirements. So first requirement is mutual exclusion must be enforced. Only one process at a time is allowed into critical section among all processes that have critical sections for the same resource or a shared object. What is the meaning of this? If there are multiple processes wants to access a common resource, for example printer, okay, so at a given time, at a particular time, only one process should have the access of that particular printer, okay, that is the first. So mutual exclusion must be enforced. Second, a process that halts in its non-critical section must do so without interfering with other process. So see, any sequential program or any program, okay, can have two parts. One is called as non-critical section and second section may be a critical section. So non-critical section is a section where the program or the process is not dependent on any other process. It can run independently. And in critical section, we are going to keep a code which will try to access a common resource. Okay, so each process, okay, what is process? When the program is in execution, then it is called as a process. When it is not executing, it is called as a program. Okay, so whenever the program process wants to access some common resource, that particular code we are going to keep in the critical section. Okay, so non-critical section means the code which is not accessing, which is not waiting or accessing for any common resource. Okay, not accessing any shared variables. So what is written? A process that halts in its non-critical section must do so without interfering with other processes. So it is not interfering other processes. Third, it must not be possible for a process requiring access to a critical section to be delayed indefinitely, no deadlock or starvation. So we have to take care that the waiting time for any process to enter into critical section should not be indefinite. There should not be a deadlock or starvation. Fourth, when no process is in the critical section, any process that requests entry to its critical section must be permitted to enter without delay. So if the critical section, no process is there in critical section at particular time, then other process should be given the access without any delay. Fifth, no assumptions are made about relative process speeds or number of processes. So this concept should not, the implementation should not be dependent upon the speed of the process as well as the number of processors. The last one, a process remains inside its critical section for a finite time only. Okay, why the process should remain inside the critical section for finite time only? Because other processes are waiting to enter the critical section.